right, welcome to another edition of the That's My Sports podcast. It is the soccer podcast for the weekend. Again, I am Seyi, and this here with the afro is Aaron Cass. So, Aaron, how are you doing? You got the Borussia Dortmund background right now, and Borussia Dortmund and Hoffenheim is playing as we record live.
Yep. So far nothing in the game. Well, the match I should say, which starts at 11:30, so that's good. I thought it started at 11:20, but I guess not. I'm doing all right. I expected what was going to happen in the Champions League with Dortmund. I did not expect that with Arsenal. So I'm not sure where you want to go with that one, but you want to talk
Well,
about the Arsenal
I
one
guess
first.
granted. Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Since we're already leading on to that, we can. I guess granted, they were playing in Portugal. I think their city is called Porto. So, yeah. Look, it's 1-0. It was going to be a complete draw until that wonder goal from Galeno, the Brazilian from Portugal. I mean from Porto. He just it's like on FIFA where you hit the R1 button for PlayStation for that finesse shot, and I was like looking at the ball in the air. It's like that ball is curving in. It's like, don't tell me that's going inside. And that went inside in the last seconds of the game. You could say David Raya, he should have had better positioning on that because he could have saved it. But honestly, like for just to play devil's advocate on that, it's like, who was going to expect that? I don't blame David Raya for not expecting a shot like that. So I
And
mean, if he was like,
didn't he have like at least another opportunity to score as well in the first half?
oh yeah, Galeno had a lot of chances. He was
Yeah.
their best player on Porto. He was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
So hopefully a bigger club as in Arsenal picks him up next season because he was great for Porto.
I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest. I mean, he's doing pretty well in the Champions League. He has, 3 goals, I think, in
Yeah,
the
I
Champions
wonder.
League.
Yeah, I wonder. And if he's doing that well in Champions League, I wonder what he's doing in the Portuguese league because the Portuguese league is usually like a step below the other leagues. So if he is dominating like that for the Champions League, he must be bossing the Portuguese league. But yeah, it's a good result for Porto. Porto, yeah, they're the underdogs in this one. They usually dominate the Portuguese league, but I believe they're in third this year, third or second. But yeah, great result for Porto. But Arsenal, they're going back to the Emirates, so who knows if they keep their form, have they like the form they have in the Premier League, they could score multiple goals. They just scored 4 goals yesterday.
That was crazy. They just piled on. Let's talk about Arsenal in the Premier League if anyone's watching this. So I didn't realize that Saka had 5 goals in 5 games, straight games, and that didn't happen since like 9 years ago. I was like, sheesh. I figured there'd be more than that. I figured like at least recently.
Because it's hard to score a goal, and for him, he's playing on the right wing, so he's further away from the goal. So I think that's what makes it more impressive for me, because he's not playing striker; he's playing on the right wing.
True. But yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive. And so, do you think with the obviously because they lost 1-0 in the Champions League, do you think they're more focused in the Premier League, which you kind of mentioned a little bit before we started the show?
Yeah, I say they're putting a little bit more focus on the Premier League because they almost won the Premier League last year, but similar to Dortmund, like literally in the last game they lost it. So I feel like they just have like a bitter taste in their mouth from what happened in the Premier League last season. So they're trying to focus on the Premier League. But hey, I mean, look, it's a two-leg race. It's a two-leg tie for the UEFA Champions League. They could very well just go back on the second leg and score multiple goals and win. But if we're talking about the Premier League with Arsenal, let's go back to February 4th. Since February 4th in Premier League matches, Arsenal has scored. Doing the math right now, Arsenal has scored 18 goals in the last 3 Premier League games. Oh,
Yes.
last 4 Premier League games, 18 goals. That's over 4 goals a game. That is wild.
Just a little bit. Me just a little bit. And I think coming up too, they have Sheffield United on Monday in March 3rd. Sorry, March 4th. So that should be an easy win for you guys. I think, and they got Brentford next, and then obviously they'll do the second leg against FC Porto. So the one I'm kind of looking forward to though with the Arsenal matchups is the next coming two, which is against Chelsea and Man City.
Yeah, those are matches, especially Manchester City, since they're going against them in the title race. That has to be at least a must draw game, a must not lose game.
I was going to
That's a
say
better way
because
to say
they
it. Must not
beat them
lose.
the last match.
Yeah, so at least a draw or a win is good. But so it's a must not lose game. And Chelsea, I mean, that's the Battle of London, South London versus North London. You got to beat that. They call it the derby or the derby, if you want to say it in an American accent, the derby game. So that's when two teams from the same city will play against each other. So it's kind of like the Lakers and Clippers, Chargers and Rams, Jets and Giants.
Interesting.
Similar to that. So Arsenal and Chelsea, they're usually been like one of the top rivalries of the Premier League. And Arsenal is now much better than Chelsea, so they have to win. But Chelsea's been playing better recently, so Chelsea might come back to form.
Now I'm kind of looking at the schedule right here for Arsenal. So they did beat Liverpool 3-1 back in February. So if they beat Manchester City, like, all right, and then let's say it's like a two-way tie between Liverpool and Arsenal. Will Arsenal take it over? Just like, is it like regular sports? Even if the points are the same, it goes by the matchups of who wins the Premier League.
They do it by goal difference, and then after goal difference, then they do it by matchup. If goal difference is the same, then they do it by matchup. But that's why you see goal difference like on that second tab after games played, because they'll use that as a way to see which team should be higher.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because if you have goal difference, it makes it seem like, okay, they have a higher goal difference, so that means they're a better team. And goal difference is like how much more goals you have compared to how many you conceded.
And it does make sense of what you were saying, though, that they care more about the Premier League because at the goal difference is the biggest thing, and they're in this three-way, like, I'm gonna say a tie. I can see why they're kind of caring more than the Champions League.
Yeah, you see, like now Arsenal has the highest goal differences. Like we mentioned, 18 goals in the last 4 matches. That is wild. So
that's insane.
They went from probably having less of a goal difference than Manchester City to now having more of a goal difference than Liverpool because of that. So like, yeah. So and you know what? I do like that rule. I like that rule. It's kind of like it's what the NBA in-season tournament adopted from Europe because they did that too with their tournament. Like the point differential. That's why you see teams still trying to run up the score when they add the blowout. But you know what that makes for? More exciting games because let's say if at the end of the season they are tied on points. They're going to keep trying to score goals. They're not going to sit back and play defense. They're going to keep trying to score goals. So for me, that I like that better than head-to-head matchups. That's what the NFL does. I like that better.
Yeah, it definitely puts a lot more pressure too. Like I'm just looking at it as well with the schedule. The average amount of goals the opponents have had against Arsenal is 1. Uno.
Really?
Yep. You've had two matches where it's been 1 goal and the rest they have not scored at all. So it was in the Liverpool one. I'm sorry. Yep. In the Liverpool one, they had 1. And then with Newcastle the other day was 1. Other than that, they've I'll use a hockey term. They shut out their opponents the rest of the way. So far.
And if you just watch this stylistically, I'm not even saying this to be biased. I feel like Arsenal is the best team in the Premier League right now.
They're definitely a good like high-powered attack team. Yeah, that's for sure.
Without a true striker. So they got the midfield. They got Kai Havertz, who's been playing well now. Like he's looking like the Kai Havertz of Bayer Leverkusen. He's not looking like the Kai Havertz of Chelsea now. He's playing well. They got Odegaard, They got Declan Rice. That midfield, honestly, that's going top to top with any club, not even just the Premier League in the world. Probably even against Real Madrid, like that's going up there with that. At least to me. At least to me. I mean, of course, Real Madrid has Jude Bellingham, but I just feel like the combination of creativity and stability with Declan Rice at defensive midfielder, that's going against everybody. Then you got William Saliba at the defense, like you mentioned, only average of 1 goal because
Yeah.
William Saliba is a rock. He's 6'6", extremely fast, extremely agile, is dangerous in the air. Yeah, so I think they got everything except striker, but
Yep.
they can still score.
Yep. And I'm looking at Man City right now. It looks like they're kind of like they're struggling, but they're not, if that makes sense. Like they're pretty much averaging at least like 2 goals the last like 5-6 matches, and they're giving up a goal. So the last few they won against Bournemouth, however you want to say it, 1-0.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Yeah, listen, I'm English, but I'm American English. So sorry if I offend anyone. And then they won 1-0 against Brentford, tied with Chelsea, the 1-1, which happened. And then obviously in the round of 16, Copenhagen, which is kind of like a nothing for them, 3-1. So it's kind of like it's like they're not doing well, but they are. So I feel like that might hurt them going down the stretch because they have to go up against Liverpool coming up. And I feel like this Manchester United one, I think, could be an interesting one. I might be like a little like upset against Manchester City. I feel like that could be a trap game.
Yep, that's also another derby game too. Manchester City versus Manchester United. That's a game everybody watches, and I feel like with that, it doesn't matter what the points are between the two teams. Manchester United can win any game against Manchester City, and vice versa. So, I think that game is going to be something to watch, and I think it's just the victim of success in Manchester City. Everybody kind of knows how to play them, and I think because of that, they don't score as many goals. They're still going to win, but everybody usually will just sit back on Manchester City because they're going to dominate possession. They're going to have the ball for like dominate possession on having the ball most of the game. They're going to keep passing it back, taking it slow, so they kind of sit back on them. While Arsenal and Liverpool, their style of play has adapted. They had like more of a turnover with the players that came onto the team. Of course, Manchester City got Jeremy Doku to add some more pace, but I feel like it's just the victim of success in Manchester City where everybody kind of like knows what to expect, knows how to play them. So while they'll still win the game, it's just will they win by 5? Will they win by 4? Probably not. While Arsenal, I think Arsenal's attack is less predictable. As Manchester City, they have Haaland at striker, so most of the time Haaland is going to be the one finishing off chances. Phil Foden has been scoring goals as well, but you already know like Haaland is the end product. While Arsenal, you got Trossard, you got Gabriel Jesus. We mentioned Bukayo Saka, 5 goals in the last 5 matches. You got Gabriel Martinelli. You got Odegaard, Havertz. They got so many different attacking threats, and none of them are true strikers. I said with Gabriel Jesus, but that's even debatable if he's even a true striker because he's not like an out-and-out striker. So I think Arsenal benefits from having unpredictability on who's scoring, on who's going to finish off the chance, and that's why they score so many goals.
Yeah. And a little update right now on the Dortmund game. Dortmund's down 1-0 already.
I saw it. I saw while I was talking.
Well, with Hoffenheim, I was like, oh, great. This is going to be a good one. But, yeah, I could see Arsenal taking this. I think they're just kind of patiently waiting and letting someone slip up. And I looked at Liverpool's schedule. It doesn't look like they have really anybody that's kind of like a threat. I know in 2 weeks they have Nottingham Forest, which really isn't anything, but just kind of look at their schedule. It doesn't look like it's going to be that tough. The only matchup I think will be tough is the Manchester City game, but I think Arsenal can kind of swoop in and take over and win the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm saying they got Manchester City March 10th, so Yeah, that's the
I
match.
could see a dub. I think it'll be down at the wire, but I think it could be a dub.
I don't know about that one. I don't know
You know, I
about
know
that.
about that one.
Uh,
Crazier things have happened, especially in this Premier League.
Manchester City, I don't know about that one. That might be a loss right there.
It could be a loss. Oh, gee, why do I have more faith than you?
Manchester, no, not Manchester City. Well, you said their schedule was easy, and then I see Manchester City, and then that says like, nah, that schedule is not easy. Then Manchester United, April 6th. Uh, that's also kind of a derby game. Manchester United versus Liverpool. That's also like one of the
Oh, really?
deep rooted rivalries. So that one can also go either way as well. They do have the benefit of playing in the Europa League, not the Champions League. So
Hmm.
they're going against Sparta Praha. If I'm even saying that right, I think that's Russian. That's not a Russian team. That's a Greek team. That is a Greek team. So they don't have to play their top players against Sparta. So they can let them rest and have them focus on Premier League games.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Um, anything that you wanted to talk about with the matchups in the Champions League? I know we're kind of bouncing around, which is fine.
Yeah, let's go back
Um,
to the Champions League since Champions League for right now. I feel like that's the number one thing. Number one thing. So let's go back to the Champions League.
okay. Well, obviously, Borussia Dortmund, they tied it with PSV. Um, the 1-1.
Yep.
I think PSV could have had 2 goals in this one, but there's a little bit. I think one of the goals is a little bit to the right, if I remember. But when I saw that Dortmund scored first in the first half, I was like, all right, yeah, we kind of got something going on. And then when
Then
they tied it up,
penalty.
I was like, yep, it's going to stay a tie.
Luke De Jong penalty. I saw that one.
Yeah, I saw that one too. And I didn't realize until they said it with Daniel Malin that he was on PSV back in the day.
Yeah.
To like 2017, I think it was.
Yeah, he was.
So that was good. That was good scoring against his former club. But
Oh, did
yeah,
he? So I missed the goal because I was watching the Inter Milan Atletico Madrid match. Did he celebrate?
a little bit, nothing crazy, but yeah, he
Okay.
celebrated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's usually like sacrilegious to celebrate against your former team. Like you
yeah, it
can
was
celebrate
kind
like your
of.
teammates, but like doing like this outward celebration,
Yeah, no, he didn't
like
do that.
yeah,
Nah,
that one is sacrilegious.
nah, he was almost like as if he just kind of like crossed his arms, kind of like, yeah, I'm here, kind of like Dylan Brooks type thing
Oh,
when he used
okay.
to play for Memphis. But yeah, so that was interesting. And then I was watching this one, and I'm surprised that it was what it was. But the Napoli versus Barcelona, I thought Napoli was going to take this one, but I guess I'm not surprised that it tied. But that was a pretty good match too.
I feel like that tie is pretty fair given the form of both clubs right now. Both clubs are not in the best form. I think Barcelona is slightly better than Napoli in terms of form. I believe Osimhen scored a goal. I was watching FC Porto and Arsenal, of course. So Osimhen did score the goal,
Yep.
and Osimhen came back from Nigeria. Osimhen is their best player. He came back from Nigeria's disappointing loss in the Africa Cup of Nations. Came back to a team that actually attacks and scored a goal. I think 1-1 is pretty fair. And now they're going to go to the Camp Nou. I think Barcelona is going to take this one in the second leg. They'll be playing back home.
Yeah, I can see that. Is it? I think it'll be. I think it'll be like maybe like a 2-0 Barcelona win. I think in the next time they face against each other, which I believe is the the 12th. I think 12th of March.
Should be, because
Should be around there. Let me check that.
yeah,
I think
because
I'm right.
the next game's March 5th, and March 5th, March 6th,
Yep.
and yeah, so I think that should be
March
the next
12th.
one. Yeah,
Yep.
because they
Should be
skip a
interesting.
week. They skip a week.
So what do you have right here for the second leg of the round of 16 between FC Bayern and Lazio against?
Oh, you got it. You got it. You have some confidence. Have some confidence in yourself. You got it. Lazio. You got it.
I didn't want to mess that one up again because I think FC Bayern is kind of doing the same thing Arsenal's doing, but
Are they?
opposite. So they can't win in the Bundesliga because
Okay.
Leverkusen has a pretty good tight lead
Yeah.
on that.
Could we say they're doing the same thing as Arsenal? Like Hey,
I'm
Arsenal
yeah,
actually
but
has a
but
chance to win the
but like
league.
a role reverse. I think they're gonna try to go full force in this Champions League because you
Oh
can't
yeah,
they can't win the Bundesliga. And Harry Kane had his 28th goal in the Bundesliga the other night or day. Sorry.
not
Um,
night if you're in Europe. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
night. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I think they're gonna try to focus now on this Champions League. I think they're gonna come out with the victory instead of a tie against Lazio on this
I
one.
Yeah, I believe that's what they have to do at this point because they've been doing so bad in the Bundesliga. Thomas Tuchel said he's leaving at the end of the season.
Saw
I'm
that, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's his choice or management's
They
or
they
ownership
said
choice.
it was a mutual.
Oh, of course, yeah, mutual.
So,
You know why they said it was mutual?
because he's getting his
Be-
ass canned.
that too, and also because I believe it was last year where they had Julian Nagelsmann as manager. He wasn't even doing that bad. They were number one in the Bundesliga. They fired him for Thomas Tuchel
Oh
to the
wow.
disappointment of many fans. And then when Thomas Tuchel immediately took office, they they started losing.
Oh.
Granted, they weren't doing too great under Nagelsmann, but they were still first place because basically that's how the Bundesliga usually is for Bayern. They don't even have to play that well to be first place, but just because they were disappointing in the Champions League, so Nagelsmann got the axe, and they
Yeah.
put Tuchel in, and then Tuchel started doing bad, honestly worse than Nagelsmann, and now they're not even number one in the Bundesliga. So because of that, they want they want to make us seem that he's leaving by mutual decision to make it seem like, oh, we're not just firing him because we admitted to our mistakes of hiring him. Like, no, he just feels like maybe this is not a great fit for us. So it's a mutual decision. Like, nah. You guys made a mistake hiring Thomas Tuchel and letting go Julian Nagelsmann. But
Yeah, because they're 53 points in the Bundesliga and Leverkusen is 61, but I don't see Leverkusen stepping off the gas anytime soon.
oh no, I don't see it at all. And like, yeah, so Bayern has no choice but to focus on the UEFA Champions League. And with that being said, I feel like Bayern they'll be back home in Munich, and I think they're going to win comfortably. But
Yeah,
if they don't,
I can see
it's
that.
going to be even more backlash if they don't
Oof.
win because Lazio has the lead.
Yeah, they are up 1-0. That happened 2 weeks ago. And I'm just looking at here for Harry Kane's stats in the UEFA. He's got 4 goals so far this year. So he's got I think he just needs
It's
to really step it up in this one. I don't think the last 5 matches. Let's see. Oh, it's all mostly Bundesliga. I mean, I don't think he's scored yet so far in this round of 16. Or I think the only time he scored was in the beginning rounds. So he needs to pull a Cristiano Ronaldo and just start going off
but
if Bayern's going to win this one.
yeah, and the thing is like, yeah, Harry Kane has been a wonder signing for Bayern. He's been great. How did they get worse? They had no striker last year, and now they got one of the best strikers in the world. How did they get worse? I guess it has to do with everybody else on that roster.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot with him. And I think the last like 5-6 matches, I think he's had a hat trick or he's had 2 goals. Like no one's really stepping up. I'm gonna look at the next closest one in the Bundesliga for goals in it, but I don't think it's anything close. Yeah, so probably gonna botch this. Leroy Sani or because it's German, so San. How are you gonna
You
say that?
almost had it.
Ah,
Sane.
Sane. Yeah, I didn't realize he was German. He has 8 goals. That's the next. That's the second leading goal scorer on Munich. So
Even though, granted, I think that name is more African than German, but
yeah, I just saw
yeah,
Germany, so I'm like, I don't know if it's German or
yeah.
however you say
His
it.
father, I think, played for an African country. I forgot what country, but then Leroy Sané just happened to be born in Germany when his father was a professional soccer player. But
That makes sense.
yes, I feel like Bayern is the victim of complacency over the years of dominating the Bundesliga, where to the point where they don't really have too much turnover in their team. Like their team, they trot out usually the same roster every year. They switched out Lewandowski for Harry Kane. But pretty much you see Joshua Kimmich. He's been on that team for a number of years now. Leroy Sané, he's been on that team since Manchester City from a few years ago. Serge Gnabry, I think he's more of a bit part player now, but he's still been on that team for a while. I feel like there's not really too much turnover on that team. Leon Goretzka. They have switched their defense around, but Thomas Mueller, for example, he's a one club guy. He's been there since the very beginning. He's the heart and soul of Bayern Munich, but Thomas Mueller is now past his prime.
Yep.
So they just need to reinvigorate some youth there. Matthews Tell, he's been great, but he needs to play more. It's hard for him to play more when his best position is occupied by the best player on the team, Harry Kane. Well, you can play him on the left wing more, because he's the other guy that scores goals. You can bring him in the 70th minute, and then Matthews Tell can score a goal. So they just need to find some ways to reinvigorate the youth and get some other players on the team. You know what they missed out on? Getting Jude Bellingham. They let him go to Real Madrid. Well, I don't know if they let him go. Jude Bellingham just wanted to go to Real Madrid over Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich has a whole pastime of buying top players from Borussia Dortmund, and they let the top player from Borussia Dortmund last season go to Real Madrid, and because of that, now they're paying the price. So I guess they need to go back to buying worse German clubs, or they're going to buy from Leverkusen next year. They're going to buy everybody from Leverkusen.
They could, yeah. I could see that. And I mean, it's a good thing Bellingham did go to Real Madrid, because the next guy who's right here in PSG still, he's coming over to Real Madrid. So I think Bellingham made the right choice, Kylian Mbappe. So do you have PSG beating Real Sociedad to take it?
Oh yeah. It's already comfortable. They'll be in Spain though. They'll be in Spain where Real Sociedad plays, and I don't see anything any different. PSG got more expensive, better players. Congratulations, Real Sociedad, for getting this far.
Is PSG gonna, because now they know that Mbappe's leaving, that they're gonna, ride for Mbappe and get him a Champions League Cup, or is it just gonna fall short?
I think they'll fall short.
Okay.
They don't love him like that. At least the fans, they don't love him like that. And they would have loved him. They would have loved him more if he wanted to stay, but he's been trying to leave he's been trying to leave ever since he signed that contract. It's like he signed a new contract and still wanted to leave, but he just wanted the money. Yeah.
Sheesh.
I'm glad this transfer saga is over. It's literally been going on for like the past few years, it seems, for Mbappe. Will he stay? Will he go? Is he going to Real Madrid? I'm kind of glad it's over.
Speaking of Real Madrid, they go up against Red Bull Leipzig. I believe Real Madrid won that one, so I'm assuming they're just going to sweep them.
I believe so. Leipzig, I think they've done good to only keep it a one goal. And they gave Real Madrid a hard time. Like I said, Leipzig always gives big clubs hard times because the way they play, pressing, and they got a lot of youth on their team. But I see Real Madrid just sweeping this one. I feel like it's going to be an easy win. And also for Manchester City and Copenhagen, like we did on the football podcast, 1, 2, 3. Feel like Manchester City's going to win that one.
City, absolutely. Then they're at Manchester City, which would be in England. So yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Is Bellingham going to be able to play in this one against Leipzig? I don't think he was in the first matchup.
He wasn't in the first matchup. He was hurt. I'm not sure if he'll be able to play. I could check the injury report, but even if he is, they might not even want to risk him because I feel like for them, this should be a win. They should be winning easily. So
yeah, because I just looked on his profile and like on the news and like nothing yet. So, but it says 13 days ago that Madrid can cope without Bellingham. So maybe they'll take your advice and just kind of not play him in this matchup.
I said there's a news report from Goal.com that Jude Bellingham is back. They set return date from ankle injury, so he could be playing against Leipzig, but like I say, might not want to risk him. They'll have him come off from the bench, to play the final minutes, or if they really need a goal.
Yeah, I would probably just leave that at bay then if that's the case.
And while we're speaking, Borussia Dortmund just scored a goal off a corner. And speaking of the devil, Is it Daniel Malin that did he score? I just
I
saw.
believe it was
Yeah, because I saw a bald black guy that looks like
a
Daniel Malin.
bald black.
I mean, that's the Daniel Malin. Okay, I mean, because he's the only one that looks like that on the
And you know what's
Dortmund.
funny? He just succeeded his career high in goals with 10 goals now.
Oh, really?
His
And
career high was 9 last year with
there,
Borussia Dortmund.
yeah, he's been playing great for Borussia Dortmund. He kind of started off slow when he transferred to Dortmund, but yeah, he's been
Yeah, I think
firing
the
for Borussia
first
Dortmund.
year he had like 5 goals
Yeah,
when he first came there. But well, is it a little sad that he was on Arsenal just for a little bit and he just left, or you're kind of glad he left?
I actually forgot Malin was on Arsenal because I think he was a youth player. I think he
Yeah,
was he was a young player. So I mean, it's not really because he was still establishing himself and his career probably wouldn't have turned out well if he would have stayed in Arsenal because he would have had gotten no playing time. Sometimes you have to leave from like the academies to go to a smaller club to play in the senior team,
yeah,
then get playing time because he was in the Arsenal youth academy, I believe. Yeah, sometimes it's got to leave to go to a smaller club like PSV, make a name for yourself on their senior levels, and then a bigger club like Dortmund will buy you.
yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
He's
I'll
he
take
was
him beyond
probably
Dortmund.
he was probably from PSV's youth academy too. Probably got bought by Arsenal at a young age, didn't get playing time, and probably went back. That probably how it worked. I could just see his career trajectory because I really forgot he was on Arsenal.
Yeah, I think it before PSV or like or because I know he was at PSV for. I think I saw like the 1 year,
Okay, so
and
yeah,
then same thing with Arsenal.
he joined the Ajax in 2007. So he was in the Ajax Youth Academy, and then like at a very young age, Arsenal picked him up, and he joined due to his childhood heroes being Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp, with two Arsenal legends. And then I guess he was playing well for youth ranks in Arsenal, and he made his senior debut, but it was for a preseason game in
Mm,
July. And yeah, never really got playing time, so Arsenal sold him to PSV in 2017, which was at 18 years old. So he sold them to PSV, and then that's when he made the ranks, eventually getting to the senior team in PSV and making a name for himself. That's usually how most players start out. Serge Gnabry, like I said, from Bayern Munich, he was on Arsenal's youth academy.
mm.
And for some reason, we just never really played him. Even when we did play him, at sometimes he was good, but we never really gave him too much of a chance. So he transferred to, I think, Werder Bremen at first in Germany. He played well there, and then eventually Bayern Munich bought him.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, before we wrap it up here, do you have any final words or anything going on in the Champions League or any other leagues that are going on?
Well, final words is Borussia Dortmund just scored another goal.
I just saw it right now. Yep. Let's
Nico Schalke.
go. Oh,
So
that was a nice shot too.
wait, when did Hoffenheim have two goals?
They
They must
did.
have scored while we were recording. I didn't
No,
even know they had two.
I don't think they did because I think it's how they like an error.
Oh, okay. Because
I think it's
yeah,
like
I'm
that.
tripping. Okay, yeah. So it's two. Okay, yeah. Whoever's on that production team needs to fix that.
I am available. Just saying. I'm available for that. But yeah, nice. That's a good way to start off my Sunday.
Yeah. So
Nice.
hope everybody's else Sunday is starting off pretty well. Thank you for listening to this live stream or listening to this recording, whatever time you're listening to it. And we will see you all next week.
Yep, absolutely. And I appreciate everyone that was watching here. So we had at least 9 in the chat watching again. Appreciate that as well. And also, too, I mean, shout out to the goalies and all these leagues I've watched, especially in the Champions League. Like they're doing pretty well. Like they've made some pretty good saves, especially some hard kicks coming
Except for
out.
David
But
Raya, by the way.
except for that one, yeah. But other than that, the goaltending in this Champions League has been pretty superior so far. And again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow That's My Sports on YouTube. Trying to get to 100 subscribers. We're at 97 right now. Big things are coming for us. Trying to get a lot of things going. But yeah, appreciate all the support. And like Seyi says, this is the Seyi Narrative Football Special. We'll see you next week. Same time, 11 o'clock on Sunday. Peace.
Tie this game at 60.